Also, if you're looking at purchasing particular types of yarn, Dana had mentioned the 1 pound yarns, which I prefer as well. There is a difference between the pound of yarn that you get for Karen and then your typical yarn that you would get, which would be the Red Heart Super Saver that a lot of people like. There will be probably a small variation between the two, so just be aware of that as well. If you're looking at trying to do large projects, you're going to want to get, if you can find the bigger balls like the 1 pound yarn. Here's an example. I purchased this at Joann Fabrics. Got this for $6.99. It's 710 yards of white cotton. And I make a lot of cotton projects, a lot of water bottle holders, which you'll see for those who follow me, because I'm starting to make those now. And I use a lot of cotton, so this is really worth it. I know Walmart also sells the big cones of cotton. That would be a good deal if you do use a lot of cotton or you do use a lot of cotton projects, instead of buying the little small balls. And I've got one here. Instead of buying like one of these, the peaches and cream, or I know Michael's right now has a sale on theirs for $1 for the sugar and cream. But these, I think, can get me, if I use 2 balls, I will be able to get enough to get a hat done, something similar to this. This would be enough to make 1 water bottle holder, but at $1.77 at Walmart, you know, is it really worth it when you can get something as big as this and be able to make so many things? I bought one of these before, and I was able to make 2 fat bottom bag sets and hats out of just one of these, which is not too bad at all, because I make mine fairly big. So that's something also to keep in mind when you're doing that. As far as the care, a lot of that information is also written on your balls of yarn. So right here, it will tell you, depending on, and I'm sorry if this is kind of blurry, depending on what type of pattern that you have, it will tell you what type of yarn you need. This is 4, which is a medium or worsted weight yarn. It also tells you what type of needles to use if you're knitting, what type of crochet hook to use if you're crocheting. This is not an automatic. It just says generally the smallest hook or the smallest knitting needles to use are going to be one of these 2. You'll have more difficulty if you use a smaller needle trying to get the yarn through as you're knitting or crocheting, because the loops get really small. And then also the care instructions. That's very important, especially if you're making certain items. Wool shrinks, so keep that in mind when you're making something for someone, to make sure you give them the care instructions so they know how to take care of that item. And whether or not it's going to shrink, you know, if they decide they're going to hand wash it gently, or put it in the gentle cycle, or dry clean it. But let them have that option so that they know. I can't tell you how many times a beautiful sweater has been made and they go to wash it and put it in the dryer, and a size that was like mine now is like little baby size. And it's because wool really shrinks, and wool is just one of the fibers that does. I know a lot of you love the Red Heart Super Saver yarns. I do too, but I do have a beef with Red Heart. Their yarn is not very soft to me. I do have issues with every time I purchase it. You can get it at a really good price. It's worth it. But I always, always, always have to wash it, or wash the project after I'm done, or I have to soak it in Downy or some type of fabric softener, because it is so, to me, it is very, very tough on the hands, even when I'm creating it. So I really prefer not to use Red Heart if at all possible. I will if I have to, but if I can find another yarn that's softer, has about the same yardage, and it will have the same desired effect, I will use it. One of the ones that I get at Meijer is their Bernat. They have 1 pound yarns too, and honestly, when I looked at the Bernat, this has approximately 426 yards, or 283 millimeters for this yarn. And I grabbed one of my Super Saver Red Heart yarns, and theirs is 264 in yardage, 333 millimeters. So that kind of gives you the difference between the two. I can't remember how much this is from Meijer, but I'll put a little description down in the doobly-doo after I look it up, because I'm not really sure. I don't buy yarns very often from Meijer because you really can't get a good deal. You're pretty much paying what they have, but their yarn is a lot softer than the Red Heart yarn. Nothing to bash Red Heart, because I do use it, but if at all possible, if I can get away with not using it, I don't. because of the fact that for me it's very tough on the hands. I think that's pretty much it as far as my tips. I hope you've gained some information. Would love to see a video response, maybe adding to what Dana has stated and then what I've kind of followed up with. Hope to see you soon. I've got a cast off video and a fresh off the hook video coming up next weekend, so be prepared for that. Be prepared for that, because I'm really working hard on a couple projects for that. So until then, peace, God bless, love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.